Hello guys, welcome to the 14th session of the ASP.NET Web API 2. In this session we will learn about the attribute routing. The first question arises that what is routing? Routing is how the our Web API matches to a URI in action. ASP.NET Web API version 1 uses the conventional based routing which make it harder to support the certain URI pattern that are common for the RESTful API. ASP.NET Web API 2 introduced the attribute routing which allow us to change the route for the our method. For this we need to use the route attribute. ASP.NET Web API 2 allows us to use both conventional based routing as well as the attribute routing. Let's see by the example. I am created new solution. I am going to add the new model. Right click, add new class, employee. And add the several properties such as ID, string name, as well as string department. And create a new controller of Web API 2 empty controller with the name employee. First of all, we need to add the namespace to the our model using v14 routing dot models. For this example, I am going to use the static list of employee instead of the database. Static list of employee, all employees equal to new list of employees, and add the some employee within the list. New employee ID equal to 1, name equal to Nilay, department name equal to development, I am already copied the some dummy data. I am going to paste it. After creating the list, I am going to create a method from which I am taking the ID as a parameter and return the name of the employee. For this, I need to create the one action, public string get employee, and take the integer ID as a parameter, from which I am going to retrieve the employee object. Employee amp equal to all employees dot first or default e such that e dot id equal the id given in the parameter, and check whether the employee is not null. Then going to return employee check m dot name, otherwise going to return string dot empty. Let's check it. Build the solution. Let's copy the URL, paste to the postman, select the get method, write the API slash our controller name, that is employee, and let take the one as ID. You can see that it written the Nilay, that is the name of the employee, which is present here. And now we need to create another method from which we need to retrieve the name of the department instead of the employee name. Which return the name of the employee, that is Nilay. Now what if you want to return the department name instead of the name? When the user write the slash department along with the ID, in that situation we need to return the name of the department for the employee with the ID 1. For this we need to create action public string get department name with the parameter ID, and same code will be used. Instead of returning the name, I am going to return the department name. Let's run it. Switch to Postman and send a request. You can see that it written the 404 status when we are appending the department along with the our ID. Now let's retrieve the employee name only. We receive the 500 international server error. The message is that the multiple actions were found that met the request. This error encountered because the multiple method in the our controller that take the integer ID as a parameter and they return the string. In that situation, ASP.NET Web API will be confused. To handle that situation, we need to specify the attribute routing. For that, stop the solution. We need to use the route attribute and specify the path to the our controller, that is API slash employee slash ID, and use the route attribute along with the our second method also, which take the API slash employee slash ID slash department. Let's rebuild our solution. Switch to Postman and click on the send button. You can see that it returned the name of the employee, that is Nilay. And for retrieving the department, I'm going to write the constant that we are writing the root attribute and click on the send. We can see that it returned the development. Let's see it for the employee ID 3, which return the testing, and remove the department from the URI, which will return the employee name, that is Priyank. In this example, I am using the static list and returning the string as a return type for the both of method instead of the HTTP request method. In the real life application, we are returning the HTTP request message and using the database or the XML file instead of the static list. In the Web API 2.0, if you open the Web API config file that present in the app_start folder, you can see that it contains the call to the method map HTTP attribute route, which will assemble the attribute routing for our web API. For attribute routing, we need to use the route attribute, and within the parentheses, we need to specify the URL to our action. For escaping the parameter, we need to use the curly braces and write the parameter name within the bracket. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, feel free to contact me.